What up, guys, and welcome to another Monster Closet Mini. This time it's going to be all about the Dreamcast. And as you can see, we got some Dreamcast footage here. Now, this footage was all captured on this nice little device that Kel picked up for us. That's simply called the HD Video Converter. And pretty much what it does is it lets me plug in all of the older consoles into USB, and that way I can capture them on my capture device, since my capture device only takes USB. So, you know, it looked fine on my TV. Watching it on here, though, the quality is definitely a little muddy. But, you know, it's not too bad. I mean, you can still tell what's going on. It still looks better than it does on a normal TV. So I really enjoy it. I think it looks okay. And the first game I play is Ready to Rumble Boxing. I only play 2 games on this, and for that I apologize. But before we get into Ready to Rumble Boxing, the Dreamcast was a revolutionary system. And it's sad that it died as early as it did. And I know, I guess, you know, fans kept it alive. They still make games and stuff for it, even today, which is weird. And I just saw that there's some SD card reader for it now, and there's mods to make it read SD cards too, I think. There's all sorts of stuff still going on with the Dreamcast, and that's great because I love the Dreamcast. It's sad, honestly. It came out at the wrong time. When PlayStation 2 just ran around the corner, PlayStation 2 just came in and dominated everything, and we know how that goes. But look at the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was leaps and bounds ahead of the PlayStation and the N64. The graphics on this thing were really top-notch looking. And it really saddens me that such a great system just didn't do as well as it should have. And it had plenty of great games. Like here's Ready to Rumble Boxing, which also came out on the N64, and it didn't look nearly as good on the N64 as it did on here. And this, back to talking about this game, this was a weird game. Like Ready to Rumble Boxing is really weird. I spent a good amount of time playing this today, and I actually cut a lot of the time out. Like, why is it a snowman on there? And I figure that probably has something to do with the date and time set to my Dreamcast. I think it's set on like December 25th or something dumb. I didn't set the time or anything like that up on it. But man, it's a weird boxing game. It's not as good as Fight Night. Yeah, it's really cartoony. Okay. I do like that there's facial damage. Like, that's nice. You didn't see that in many games really before this. So, and it's not my ideal boxing game. It's really not even that good of a boxing game. But it was neat at the time on the Dreamcast. I think there was one on the PlayStation 2. Was that part 2? I don't know. I could just be talking crap right now. There might not be one on the PlayStation 2. I don't know. I could only find 2 of my Dreamcast games though, and that was Guts and Berserk, Guts Rage, and Ready to Rumble Boxing. So that's why you guys are getting the lovely footage of this first. Man, this was an odd game. I don't even really know what more to say about it other than it was odd. And that's a shame because I have a lot more footage of it. Oh, a whole nother fight. So yeah, there's another good almost 4 more minutes of this. Right. The Dreamcast. Now the Dreamcast, you could go online with it. That was so revolutionary, I thought. Although I could never get it to work. I could never get it paired up with our internet access. And I don't know, I was young and dumb back then, so who knows if I was doing anything right. But I always wanted to play that Choo Choo Rocket online. And I yawned in a really big quiet part of the video. And for that, I apologize. I've been working long hours, so I'm exceptionally tired. And I know I always say I'm tired, but I am exceptionally tired. And I'm afraid the quality of the videos is showing. Not to say our quality is not the best, but you know what I mean. So anyways, Choo Choo Rocket. I wanted to play Choo Choo Rocket online. That looks fun. Quake 3 Arena I wanted to play online so bad. And I'm pretty sure there was an Unreal Tournament. No, it might have been PlayStation 2 I played Unreal Tournament on. In fact, I'm 100% sure it was PlayStation 2. But Unreal Tournament was an interesting game. Because that was one of the first games I got for the PC. I don't know if that was before or after Diablo 2, now that I think about it. But regardless, you know, I didn't know anything about specs or anything like that for PCs, so I would just buy games and then be shocked when they didn't work. Surprisingly enough, Unreal Tournament worked. Alright, that's yawn number 2. I'm getting really unprofessional. I apologize about that. Talking about Unreal Tournament, I was putting myself to sleep. Although Unreal Tournament's a really good game. Unlike this, it's just ready to rumble. You know, I like the way that character looks. That Freaky Deek, but I don't like the way he sounds. And Afro Thunder might be mildly racist. Like, look at, his face kind of looks like Drake in the face. Which I don't think that's a compliment. You know, it might be. Drake's actually an okay-looking guy. We're not going to judge him. Yeah, this was a real weird game. But I liked it when I played it when I was a kid. So, Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio was on this system. And Jet Set Radio is one of the best games I've ever played in my whole life. Although when I went back to it when it came out on the Xbox 360, I thought the controls were kind of poopy. Like, it's weird what nostalgia does to you. But I remember watching my friend Dave Ailman, his cousin Van, practically beat that game in one sitting. That was really weird. Another revolutionary Sega Dreamcast game was Sega Virtua Tennis. I spent so many hours playing Virtua Tennis, it's not even funny. Like, man, that game was amazing. Crazy Taxi was good. Although, after a while, those same couple songs by The Offspring really got to you. But man, I thought it was so cool that they had Tower Records and KFCs in that game. That was nuts. Let's see, what was another good Dreamcast game? I did like the Tony Hawk 1 best on the Dreamcast. I'm not sure why. I don't think I actually even played any other versions. But Tony Hawk 1 was incredible on the Dreamcast. I don't really have a reason why I'm saying that, because I don't think I played the other ones. I like Dave Mirra. I think it was Dave Mirra. It's either Dave Mirra or Matt Hoffman that's on the Dreamcast, and I really liked that a lot. Those bike riding games were fun. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the superior versions on the Dreamcast. Marvel vs. Capcom. Oh, not Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm sorry. Capcom vs. SNK. Oh, there were so many. GTA 2. It had a better version of GTA 2. Resident Evil Code Veronica. I love that game. I played Resident Evil Code Veronica with my friend Brandon. And I didn't have a VMU. And we got to this part where you had to put these colored ants into some jewel boxes. And that didn't work out too well, because we put them in the wrong boxes. And then we couldn't take them out, and so I had to turn the game off and turn it back on. And we lost all that progress. We were playing it for a couple hours. Another great game. One that I never played, though, Seaman. Seaman always looked interesting. Like, I always wanted to play that game, but I never had the money to buy it. Dynamite Cop. Dynamite Cop is a game that I've sunk a lot of time in on the Dreamcast. I loved Dynamite Cop. reminded me a lot of Die Hard, the arcade game, and I believe that's because it is technically the sequel to Die Hard, the arcade game, which is actually something completely different in Japan. Power Stones 1 and 2, both great, underrated Capcom fighting games. Why are you not bringing those back? Bizarre JoJo, or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, another great fighting game. Man, there was a lot on the Dreamcast. Soul Calibur was on the Dreamcast. Soul Calibur was a reason to own a Dreamcast. I loved Soul Calibur. House of the Dead 2, and that that zombie game. The name of it. And you know, I have it here, but I'm not gonna get up and look for it. Oh man, what is the name of that? It is like the beat 'em up version of House of the Dead. What is that game called? Zombie Revenge. Yeah, that was like a beat 'em up House of the Dead. I don't know if they were in the same universe or not, but that's what it reminded me of. Oh yeah, it looks like it was originally titled Blood Bullet: The House of the Dead Side Story, and then later renamed Zombie Nightmare. It is a spin-off of House of the Dead. Okay, that's cool because that's what it looked like to me. And man, House of the Dead was a fun game. Mortal Kombat Gold, not a fun game. That game was terrible. Who liked that game? I don't know anyone who likes Mortal Kombat 4. Apparently, Next Tetris was on this. I don't know much about Next Tetris. NFL Blitz. NFL Blitz was great. I need to get a copy of NFL Blitz. Nightmare Creatures 2. Not as good as Nightmare Creatures 1. Soul Reaver was on the Dreamcast. Soul Reaver was really good. Dreamcast had Phantasy Star Online. Like, that was really popular. I didn't have the online though, so I didn't get to play it. And then they had Phantasy Star Online 2. Plasma Sword was an interesting game. That was another. I think one of the Plasma Sword guys is in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But that was a real interesting game. Project Justice. That was the sequel to Rival Schools. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. Oh, and Cannon Spike. Cannon Spike was a weird shoot 'em up from Capcom that had Cammy and what's that guy's name? Nash, better known as Charlie, in it. So that was really neat. But one of the games that I really, really, really enjoyed, and one of the few games, you guys know me, I got game ADD, so I don't finish everything I beat, but Berserk Guts Rage was an amazing game. And part of the reason I thought it was so amazing was because of the blood. Because you guys know me, I like blood in my games. And he had this big old sword, and he just swing and smash, and it was great. I played it today to get this footage, and as you guys can see, this is the Japanese version, so I have no idea what is going on anymore. But man, there's a lot of story. Not enough action. That kind of bothered me. And then when I was looking up this game, is sadly when I discovered what Berserk was, and I'm mad that I didn't find out what Berserk was sooner in life. Because I watched the anime, I read most of the manga, I watched those 3 movies that came out. Berserk is amazing. Like, man, I love Berserk. But yeah, that's it right now for the Sega Dreamcast one, you guys. I'll probably do another Sega Dreamcast one with better footage sooner or later. I want to thank you guys for listening. I know I've been rambling a lot, and it's really off topic and everything's bounced around. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. All of our social media is in the links down below. For Monster Closet, this is Rick, aka Guidi J, saying peace out.